This podcast is brought to you by Steede Motor Group, Claregalway. For your personalised vehicle shopping experience, find out more at steedemotorgroup.ie. So delighted now to be joined by the Kilconly intermediate manager Norman O'Brien to look ahead to the side's county final meeting with Monivea-Abbey on Saturday in Tuam Stadium. Norman, you must be delighted to be back at this situation again, particularly after coming up short last year.
We are, of course, we set our stall to start the year to try and get back to the final again after the disappointment of last year. And fairness to the lads, they've really bought into it this year, more so than last year even. They've done everything they've been asked to do and more, and deserve to be back in the final. And please God, they can go one more on Saturday than we went last year. And if we're good enough, we win it. Please God, and if we're not, we won't. It won't be from the Rackets Ryan anyway, and on their behalf, that's one thing for sure.
What do you feel your side is most improved on since last year?
I think we've a few guys came in this year, younger lads again, and they brought more energy to it. We have some brilliant servants that have been playing for 20 odd years for the club, and they'd be the first to admit that they're loving seeing the young lads coming along, even though it might be pushing them into less of a role, maybe for a shorter periods of time in games where they would have had to play 60 minutes before. They don't have to play 60 minutes now because the few young lads coming through. So they're definitely we've dropped the age profile of the team a good bit in the last 2 years, and it has definitely helped us. Like 2 years ago, we were in a relegation battle and had it all to beat Williamstown to come out with a very good get into the group scenario, and we knew then that we had to get more youth and pace into the team, and that has developed brilliantly over the last 2 years in fairness to the lads, and that's a tribute to themselves too. They're really applying themselves. So we've improved a lot of aspects, Paul. Our tackling has improved immensely. Our ability to get in and get our rap tackles going. We pride ourselves on our tackling, and that's what we base it all on. And the rest looks after ourselves after that. Then we have to have a good attitude to do that, and these boys have that in spades.
It's something you really have went with this year in youth. Like, it's still a very young Kilconly team if you take a view of the more experienced and players down the spine of the team, but a lot of players who are still under 20, like in this Kilconly team now.
Yeah, very, very young. They're a group of lads that came through underage there. That's the one great thing about Kilconly. While they're hemmed in by every kind of big club around them, the Tuams, Corfins, Carlstrands, Milltowns, back into Garrymore, back into Kilmaine even, they're backed into nearly every club comes in around them, and they've kept their own identity by keeping on their own and not having to amalgamate. And I think that's testament to the people in the club that are keeping it going. While it might be down in B and C at times, at least they're keeping their own true identity, and I think that's awful important for a club. If you lose that, I think you're in a world of trouble as a small rural club, and they're fighting hard to keep that on their own terms, which is great to see. And that's why the young lads are coming through, and if they can keep adding one or two more every year from now on, and they can, there's Jamie Tracy's and Brian O'Malley's, and there's a load of good young footballers that are playing underage with Jarlath's and Galway that are coming through behind. There's a load of them there, Warren Daly. They've loads of lads coming through, so they're in a really good place for a small rural club that's hemmed in by a lot of other clubs. As
a manager, do you reference last year at all?
Of course, you'd have to take the experience of it, yeah. It definitely stands, yeah. You'd be foolish not to. We have to learn from what we didn't do well, and we have to also be appreciative of what we did do well. And that's all part of life. Like, it's only one team's going to win this final the next day. It doesn't mean the other team were doing a lot of things wrong all year. It's an awful lot of good intermediate teams in Galway, as there is in Mayo and Roscommon, and I'm sure in Sligo and Leitrim as well. But the thing about it is, the team that wins it didn't do everything right, and the teams that don't win it didn't do everything wrong. So, like, there's an awful lot of clubs doing an awful lot of good work. Like, I remember speaking to Jason Tanyan after the Claregalway game, and I thought they'd definitely be still in the hunt after we bet them, and they ended up in a relegation battle, which, like, for a team as good as them, shows you the standard of football. But they cruised through it, but it just showed you the standard of football. When you see Carrow Rose and your Kilreardens going down, the standard of intermediate football in Go is very, very high. Like, and then your Headfords went down last year, and they couldn't come up out of junior, and then that shows you the standard of the junior with those other two teams going down, and then you have to beat the B teams to get up to intermediate. Rightly, like, the standard of club football in Go is very high at the moment now, Paul. Really, really high. And probably has levelled out more than that great Corofin team raised the standard. Everyone else at the time was probably saying, "Oh, they're dominating too much," but they didn't. They raised. Everyone else they really came back a small bit, and everyone else had to come up a lot. But it's leveled out across the board. I think a lot more in the last few years as you're watching it. There's very little between teams. Like
for yourselves in the knockout stages, the Brendan's game, the goals were crucial there in the second half, and even the last day against Illanorn, your team just always kind of had the response. Is that something that's pleased you most over the quarter-final and semi-final?
We know we're fit enough to go 70 minutes. We've based all our training on being fit enough to go for 70 minutes. And if we have to go extra time, we also know we can go for 90 minutes. We've done it in the past, and if we have to do it again in the future, we have that experience, and we know that we have the fitness levels. We firmly believe we're as fit and as good as anybody, and we have to just go and produce our best performances the next day. But definitely it's something we've worked extremely hard on over the last 2 years, is getting our fitness levels up to the levels that we feel they need to be at to give ourselves a chance to be successful.
Has that been the difference this year, do you think?
I know we were fit last year as well. We're probably just fitter this year. You know, that's like Monivea are a really, really good side. Like, so we're doing more last year. We've beaten every team in the intermediate championships since 2021, except more. And we have to beat Monivea now as well. So we're becoming more consistent, and that was something we looked for. We're becoming a team that can figure a way around problems in game and at half time, and that's testament to the lads. They're more intelligent footballers this year than they were last year. They tell you that themselves. Like we have a lot more brains working in the dressing room now. It's not just the 3 coaches. There's 33 brains working day and night to try and be the best version of ourselves we can be. And that's when it's driven like that. It's very easy for us to be at the top of it then, because we're not dragging anymore. They're pushing harder, keeping us on our toes. So it's a player-driven thing now. It's what we set out to achieve 2 or 3 years ago. It wasn't the player-driven thing when we arrived first, but it's a really player-driven group now, and that's the leadership is there. So when you're in them tight games, if you've invested that much time into it as a player, you're not just going to lie down and leave it behind you. If the other team are better at the end of the day, that's fair enough. But it won't be from the lack of effort that from these lads. That's one thing for sure.
What are you expecting from Monivea on Saturday?
I'm on a very serious side. Like, I know they may or may not be without Killing McDade. But like without that, they were brilliant against Cartoon. Like they have a mix of running and kicking game. They have really good forwards. The backs are tenacious. They're very, very strong around midfield. They're good goalies. So we know more than the more last year. They're going to be a really, really hard team to beat. Like, and they shouldn't have come down from senior last year. They were very unlucky. I seen the game against James's where they were very unlucky to lose that game. And they've competed at senior really, really well since they went up before. You know, so they're a senior club in an awful lot of aspects, and they'll be looking to bounce back. So we know we'll have to be at the top of our game to prevent them from getting straight back up again. But that's why we're there.
Your threats, particularly in attack, is something that stood out between David Prendergast this year and Paul Mannion.
Sorry, Paul, I just lost you there on that one, sorry.
Yeah, your threats in attack between David Prendergast and Paul Mannion, it's really been something that's stood out, I think, for everyone when they see Kilconly play.
Yeah, but the boys were good as well, lads. Like, they're just two good footballers, but they'll also be the first to admit they're surrounded by other good footballers as well, and Ryan O'Neill and Brian Igo, and all the 2 midfielders are coming helping them a lot. We'll say in our half-back line, cornerbacks are all trying to get forward and score. So, like, there's an awful lot of Conor Marsden before his injury was a really big part of that as well. So the 2 boys will be the first to admit they're finishing off a lot of moves that the other lads are designing, but they are really good at doing it, and that's what they're there for, and that's why we enjoy working with them so well, because they're 2 great guys.
And just on the fitness of the squad, how is it looking for this weekend?
Yeah, we'll be down a few no more than Monivea. Like, they'll be down a few, we'll be down a few, but we always look at it like we have 31 guys tagging. Out of that 31, 28 will tag the next day fit today. We don't need the guys that are injured to have to be trying to play. It's not a fair indictment on the rest of the boys. if we're looking to play 3 lads that are injured. The lads that are injured, and they've given us everything they can in every game they've been involved in. But until they're fit again, we'll just have to go with the lads that are fit, and we have enough lads there that are fit to do the job. We really use that. I know it's a bit American, but that next man up philosophy. It's not about who we're missing; it's about who we have.
And finally, Norman, what would it mean for you and the players to get over the line on Saturday?
And it'll mean justification for all the hours and effort that they've put in and that we've put in and that we put in together. But winning those drop has been a really enjoyable trip with these guys. They've the improvements have been immense. I firmly believe they're well good enough to win this game on Saturday, provided we bring the best version of ourselves to it. And that'll be enough for me. If they bring the best version of themselves and give everything they have from 2:30 to 4 o'clock on Saturday, I'll be proud enough of that. Whatever else comes with it, it'll be a bonus.
So delighted now to be joined by Monivea-Abbey intermediate manager Francis Roache ahead of their meeting with Kilconly in the intermediate final this weekend. Francis, after Monivea going down last year to intermediate level, the group and yourself must be delighted to be in the final this weekend.
Yeah, we're delighted to be back there, but it was a big disappointment going down, and everything was going well, but we had a bad injury there 2 weeks ago, so it's a huge loss to us, so we just have to keep on and see where we are,
Yeah, obviously Killian McDade's injury there, how much of a blow has it been for the group, particularly given how good of a player Killian is?
Actually, it's a massive blow. He's an all-star footballer playing intermediate football. Yourself, there's no intermediate defender in County Galway that would not Killian McDade on his day. So that's a bonus that we have is gone. So, but we just don't really know where it'll take us until we go out in the field and know how we can play without him. But he's a massive loss. But we have to try and get a bit of 5% extra from every other body.
With that, were you delighted with the way your team responded against Cortoon when he did go off injured?
Yeah, we didn't seem to retreat or anything. We just pushed on, and that was it. It's just the guys were focused on the day, and really they just pushed on and kept going until the final whistle, which was good, and if it happened later in the game, you'd say something, but at least that's one consolation that we played 45 minutes without killing,
Was that the best performance all year, do you think your side produced?
Oh, it was, yeah. It was our best performance, and we'll need a performance like that, and even better, to have any chance against Kilconly.
Just with that, there was a few tight games obviously in the group and the quarter-final as well against Micheál Brannocks, but do you think those kind of tight games between the Culture and the Micheál Brannocks game have drove your side on and have actually proved as a positive being tested heading into the final now?
Well, we got a massive test from Cork in the second game. We won it by 13 points to 12, that was a good learning curve. We know that we can come from behind and that we're capable of staying in the game and pushing on and getting the winner, And Celtic was another massive test. We were 5 points down, and now Killian was our top player that day. He got 1-2. But he really took us out that day from one trouble. And Micheál Brannocks was a massive test. Some very good forwards, And we just turned enough on the day to get out there. Lucky enough to get out there in the finish,
And with that, what has brought you back to Monivea-Abbey to, I suppose, take on this job this year?
Well, originally I wasn't supposed to be. I had finished managing, but Monivea chairman and secretary asked me would I pick the manager for the coming year. That was last December. And get him a hand back, so I said I would. But the 3 candidates who was going for the job resigned. So then who was left to me to pick up the pieces? But I said I'd meet them, but I said I would not take on the job unless I could source a proper trainer, and nearly every trainer available was gone at that stage. This was February. But I was lucky that Michael Farrer took up the job, because to me he's a difference this year of Monivea being nowhere and Monivea being county final.
Yeah, what has Mike Farrer brought? Because it's been intriguing to see him the last day, I suppose, being involved with you and then playing with Kerfin after that.
He's brought that professionalism to Monivea-Abbey that hadn't been there, and the football that he wants to play. Some of our scores, if you look at them, they're very much like Coruscant scores when the team was flying and winning 3 or 4 items, it's heads up football, and that's the way he wants to play. And he's just a brilliant guy to have involved in, and I always say today's game is a young man's game to train a team, and an older guy can manage a team, but it's so up to date now. Everything's so up to date. You know yourself now. It's you have to really on the ball, and video analysis and all that stuff. So Mike is top class at that sort of work. And he's been around the block. He knows what it likes to win. And he knows what it's like to lose an odd game. But so far in the championship, we haven't lost. And he's made a massive impact. He has dovetailed the two very well. And he's Coruscant and Monivea-Abbey. It's credit to him, the time that he's putting in both camps. I just I don't know how he has time to sleep, to be honest with you.
And are you enjoying yourself, Francis, being back in management this year?
Well, you always enjoy yourself and things are going well, and so far so good. I have a great backroom team with me there, Keith Wan and Paulie King, and John Donnelly got involved there with our free takers for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and he's doing a good job. And the more guys you have around you, the better, because nobody knows everything, and a lot of people make that mistakes. If you think you know everything, you're finished, because you will get caught, you'll fall down. But the more top guys you have around you, the better, because at the end of the day, 1%. If you get 5 of them, it's 5%, and that's massive in a tight game.
Something we are going to see on Saturday is, you've referenced there, it's the young man's game, but something between Kilconly and Monivea-Abbey, that both sides are extremely young this year.
But that's Kilconly. I've been in the final last year. They know they've played 11 championship matches, and they've 5 this year and 6 last year, and they've only lost 1. So there's massive experience coming into this county final. It's a whole new ball game for us being in the county final. This is a relatively very young team. It's a team that kind of was well built this year. It's a lot of the guys have been around just last year and that, but they're playing in totally different positions and different stuff. So it's about getting that gel together and playing together, the team. And so far, they've made a massive effort. I couldn't fault 1 from 42. There's some lads, there's not even the programme next Sunday. They've made a massive contribution to Monivea-Abbey football this year. But at the end of the day, we've won nothing yet, and hopefully if we can get everything right, but we'll need 15 massive performances and probably 5 subs to come on to get us over the line, and hopefully we'll be in a position to do that,
What would it mean for you to get over the line on Saturday?
Well, it means everything, really, because, Monivea-Abbey they're a massive club, and they're the only club in County Galway that's won a senior hurling championship and a senior football championship, and they won 88 and 92. They've also won Connacht Junior Cup in rugby, and they've also run the Division 1 of the Premier League in soccer. So they're a massive parish, and they've been successful at all levels in all grades. And it's just the most thing you need in Monivea-Abbey is patience, because you're not going to have all the guys all the time. So the key thing is trying to have all the guys when you want them. That's basically will be my motto. You know, and it takes real patience. You just can't say, "Oh, forget about it." You just have to be patient and say, "Well, I'll have you in 2 months' time, or I'll have you in 3 weeks' time," whatever the issue may be. Because a lot of these guys are playing soccer and they're playing hurling. There's 7 or 8 of them that's playing hurling as well, like, and county champions or Ballinderry, and that's who beat Abbeynock my hurlers. So, you know what I mean? It's a tough battle to get to a final of any description in Monivea-Abbey, because there's always somebody pulling at it, you know.